the opinions shared by our guests today are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of their respective companies. They are here to share with us their experiences, expertise, and opinions acquired during the course of their careers from the companies and industries they have chosen to be part of over the years. Please allow me to introduce our very special guest and one of my favorite subject matter experts. Now, Gary Zhang is Executive Director and Group Head of Global Finance and Accounting for Li Feng Trading. Li Feng is a global leader in supply chain management and trading with offices in over 50 countries. Now, Gary has 25 years of broad experiences in accounting, finance, treasury, capital markets, investor relations, and administration in different countries and industries. Gary, it's always a pleasure to have you on Future CFO. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Alan. Thank you for having me.
Okay, there you go. I thought I couldn't find you there. Hopefully the poll is done and we can move on to our topic. Now, Gary, our topic is our topic is CFO Playbook for Profitability and Digital Acceleration. If you look at it, now recently the Financial Secretary, Paul Chen, warns that there is a very high chance that Hong Kong will end the year in a recession. Do you see government's recent efforts around relaxation of quarantine controls, particularly aimed at travel, as providing a positive impetus to restart the economy?
Thank you, Alan. It's the short answer to this question is yes. But if you look at Hong Kong, actually, Hong Kong is in a technical recession. The second quarter GDP is really negative 1.3%, and the first quarter GDP really contracting by 3.9% compared to last year. So we are facing really a lot of uncertainties and really headwinds, as you may say. So Hong Kong business leaders, they are very smart, so have long been warning the pandemic control, other uncertainties, geopolitical tensions that will drive talent away from Hong Kong and cut off Hong Kong as the international city internationally. So if you look at Hong Kong, read the business pillars. Export really related to macroeconomic factors. Tourism, that really is talking about if you don't have a tourist, you don't have tourism. Retailer, of course, domestic and also for international traveling. Financing and banking is really important. You have to have talent. You don't have talent, including expat, you will not have a financing banking. So I think the path for Hong Kong to recover is very clear. Open up. And also critical question is, can we open up fast? If I look at the new Hong Kong chief executive and his team, since day one, after they took over from previous administration, they are trying to open up. I think they're adopting a slowly but surely approach. But really the million dollar question is, are we opening fast enough? If you compare with really our competitors, for instance, Singapore, our pandemic control for 2.5 years has created damage in Hong Kong. You can tell a lot of investment money flew to Singapore. A lot of expats, talents, moved to Singapore. I think for Hong Kong, all stakeholders, including government, business community, must act with sense of urgency to see how can we open up and regain the confidence, from the international business community. I think that's really, really critical. So the short answer again is yes, but we still have a long way to go.
Speaking of which, a long way to go. Now, the current global macroeconomic environments, you have still the war and all that, and then the geopolitical tension that are happening, plus the inflation that was mentioned earlier. How should finance leaders in Hong Kong frame their strategies in the context of growth and profitability for the coming year?
Geopolitical tension between U.S. and China started a few years ago. Really affect Hong Kong because Hong Kong is a bridge between the East and the West.
Yes.
Because geopolitical risk, attention not really sandwiched Hong Kong. So macroeconomic factors in the past couple of years, especially starting last year, high inflation, higher interest rate, softening consumer demand. That also impacts not only the international companies based in Hong Kong, but also affect local companies in Hong Kong. So when companies facing a lot of challenges, right? The uncertainties. So it's a given that companies must be prudent. Prudent in the sense is reserve financial flexibility, focus more on cash flow management, cost management, more disciplined on capex and spending. But however, that also gives opportunity to companies which has solid financials with ample finance flexibilities to pivot the headwinds and really take opportunity to expand its market share, land new customers, and attract talent. So again, this is in terms of risk for companies, the good companies, especially for finance professionals, we have to be prudent, focus on risk management, but same token, always focus long term, seeing how can we invest to make the company better and prepare for business growth.
Speaking of focusing long term, now ESG and sustainability, they've been in the high on the agenda for a lot of, well, at least they're high in the media. We've been covering a lot around ESG and sustainability. Do you think that Hong Kong needs to step up on ESG, or should we focus on near-term growth and profitability? Or can you do both in 2023?
So ESG, environmental, social governance, has been increasing seen as a measure of a good citizen, especially in recent years. It's driven by government, driven by business community, and also driven by consumer behavior. The reason I mentioned about consumer behavior is to look at the new consumers, for example, Generation Z, the new generation. They're more aware of ESG. So all the good citizens starting to really pay attention on ESG initiative and also invest in ESG. And there's a lot of cost, of course. For company, you have to invest time, money, resources in ESG initiatives. For small organizations, you have to strike a balance between your profitability, cash flow, and also the benefit of ESG. But unfortunately, all the companies, whether small or big, is intervened in the ESG initiative. Because for large organizations, for example, the Fong, we're in supply chain solutions, we are pioneering ESG initiatives. But because of the demand or expectation from our customers, from large organizations, then we have to work with our vendor factories, right, to drive the ESG initiatives. Or even small to medium-sized factory, they have to pay attention to ESG. To answer the question for Hong Kong is an international city. So in order for Hong Kong to continue maintain its a competitive edge, Hong Kong must invest in ESG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Must invest. Okay.
Yeah.
We're coming down to the last 10 minutes. So we've got 5 minutes. It's roundabout. This question is you started covering this already, talking about the talent shortage that people departing from Hong Kong. How should CFOs work with HR and other members of the C-suite respond to this talent shortage that we're experiencing today?
Thanks for the question, Alan. This question is really close to my heart. As everyone knows, right, the city has seen a net outflow of population. In the last couple of years, Hong Kong lost probably 250,000 people. And these 250,000 people, including really workforce, young professionals, and a lot of talent. I firmly believe the importance of human capital, because I believe in any organization, the people are the most important asset. You know, doesn't matter which industry you are in, hotel, restaurant, retailer, e-commerce, right? If you have good people, you have talent, the company is guaranteed to succeed. So actually for Hong Kong, we're facing a great challenge because talent moving out of Hong Kong. So I want to stress the importance for Hong Kong to continue opening up, stick on the right course to open up, right? The same token continue to launch new initiatives for Hong Kong government to attract talent, retain talent. Of course, a company like Lian Fang also need to do this part. For Lian Fang, you know, we continue to work with HR to really implement the learn and earn initiatives for Lian Fang employees. You know, to really retain our talent in Hong Kong. They understand there's a learning opportunity in Hong Kong. There's earning opportunity in Hong Kong. But in token, we also offer opportunities for our staff who decided to migrate to other countries. You know, as a global organization, we do have an office in other countries, but the UK. So we have staff who decided to migrate UK, and you know, we do have opportunities, and you can work in our UK office.
Great to know that one. Now, last question for you. I think we're down to the last 5 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Given all of these challenges, concerns, issues that are facing the finance leadership, yourself included, how should the CFO prioritize its investment strategy? So we're looking forward now. That includes M&A in the years ahead. What should the focus be in terms of investment?
As I mentioned, during the challenging time, where especially with a company facing a lot of uncertainties, we must be prudent, must be disciplined. Is given we need to manage, you know, capex and the cash flow. But same token, right, for company with financial means, then it's also good time to invest for the future. But it's very important. You have to focus. You're going to be more targeted. Really focus on the objectives of M&A. Whether you're going to really create a great synergy to your organization. And also we need to focus on the scale of M&A. So we want to make sure you have a really enough financial buffer to you know, to really look at the M&A target. Capital market is changing. As we know, US Fed is tightening the market liquidity. You know, we haven't really seen the full impact yet, but we'll see the capital market will change in the near future. So once again, we have to make sure the company has a greater financial flexibility, not only to support really the organic growth, but same token, always look at the new opportunities, which will help the company for the long term.
Okay, time is never enough, especially when you're having a great expert such as we call this, Gary here with us. As always, Gary, thank you for being so generous and candid with you on our topic. I hope you have a great rest of the week. Take care always. I look forward to seeing you again in the near future.
Thank you very much, Alan. Thank you.
Okay. So again, once again, that was Gary Zhang from Executive Director, Head of Global Finance at Lian Feng.